When we talk about multicellular organisms like humans and also plants, there's really two different types of cells that we find there. We have somatic cells, and somatic cells are often referred to as vegetative cells. And the easiest way to really describe these is to talk about the other cell type, because the other cell type is going to be reproductive cells. And we have a few different terms for these. Reproductive cells, commonly these are referred to as gametes. You could also call them sex cells. But the reproductive cells, those are going to be egg and sperm. And those are really the two options that we have. We don't have any other options for reproductive cells. So these are going to be cells that are really found in a specific location in the body. So depending on whether we're talking about male or female, that's where we would find them, located in the reproductive tissues. And then we will have a very specific type of cell division that gives rise to those reproductive cells. Now the somatic cells, on the other hand, the somatic cells is really everything else. So all of the cells that make up the human body or the plant body that are not egg and sperm, so hair cells, skin cells, blood cells, you name it, all of those are considered somatic cells. So really with those, we're talking about really located all over the body. So if I just do it like this, all of those areas, and really around here in the reproductive tissues as well, we're going to have somatic cells located. The type of cell division that gives rise to the somatic cells is going to be mitosis and cytokinesis. So we have different types of cell division resulting in the production of these two different types of cells. So again, mitosis is for producing all of the somatic cells, and then it's going to be meiosis, or some people say meiosis, that is going to produce those sex cells. So if we talk about meiosis a little bit more, one of the big things that's going to be different about the process of meiosis is that we are going to get variety in the daughter cells that we do produce. So genetic variety is what we're talking about here. This is what makes all of us different as human beings. And that's going to be something that's very important for the natural selection evolution process to actually occur. So when we start talking about the reproductive cells or the gametes, these are important because we do have sexual reproduction. And so if we describe this process of sexual reproduction or a sexual life cycle, if you will, a little bit, here I have a man and a woman, and in the reproductive tissues of these two, we are going to have the sex cells produced. So from the female, we're going to get an egg, and that egg is going to be haploid, or it's going to contain one copy of each chromosome. In the male, we're going to get the sperm, and the sperm also is going to be haploid. Now, these are going to be produced from cells that are actually located in the reproductive tissues, but these are going to be parent cells that happen to be diploid. Because all of the cells that are making up these two bodies of these individuals, they are somatic cells. So those somatic cells are going to be diploid. Now, what's going to happen is, and you're probably very familiar with this, that the egg and the sperm are going to come together and they are going to fuse through the process of fertilization. And when they fuse through fertilization, we get a single cell, and that cell is now going to be diploid because we took one copy of chromosomes in the egg and another copy of chromosomes in the sperm, and that cell right there is what we refer to as the zygote. So I'm going to write that right here so that we don't forget what a zygote is. That's the first cell that we end up with. And then we're going to have many, many cell divisions, and these are all going to be mitosis cell divisions, because we're going to take this zygote and we're going to produce a lot of additional diploid cells, and those are going to be somatic cells. So here I'm just drawing some of them. Again, all of these are going to be diploid, and eventually we will develop into that adult human being that we know of. So one other thing that we want to add to this picture is the type of cell division that does give rise to the egg and the sperm, or the gametes. That process is going to be meiosis. So meiosis is the process here where we're taking diploid cells, which happen to be in the reproductive tissues, and we get haploid cells from it. So with meiosis, as we go through and we talk about the individual steps of the process, it is a lot of times called reductive division. And what that reductive division is referring to is the fact that we are reducing the number of chromosomes, or reducing from diploid to haploid. In other words, the parent cell is diploid, but the daughter cells that we get at the end, they're going to be haploid. And not only that, but these daughter cells are going to be genetically different from each other. They're also going to be genetically different from that original parent cell that they came from.